Hey, everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, February the 28th. This is a very important week with a lot of new energies propelling us into some exciting new directions. That's because we're going to have a new moon this week. Passionate Venus and Mars are aligning. The sun is going to be aligning with Jupiter. Now, let's start with Monday, the 28th. The moon is in the dark phase of its cycle because on Wednesday, there will be a new moon in Pisces. But when the moon's in Aquarius, it's the sign prior to Pisces. So during that, what we call the dark phase of the lunar cycle, once a month, you might be feeling stuck and frustrated, but it's best for introspection, trying to reflect on the past lunar cycle from the previous 4 weeks, not yet ready to be moving forwards. Very favorable for closure, for wrapping up projects, ideas. Now, that moon in Aquarius is going to be in Aquarius Monday into Tuesday, early afternoon Pacific time. Aquarius can be kind of progressive, futuristic, but it could also, being in the dark phase of the moon, feeling this restless, anxious that you know something, you're feeling impatient with getting on with the future, or you might be concerned and worried about the future. I'm talking the future of the next week or two, the next couple of weeks. Then the moon goes void, of course, and from about 6 p.m. Pacific time until Tuesday afternoon, 12:54 p.m. Pacific time. So that is quite a long time. And when the moon is void, of course, it's like a mini Mercury in retrograde. You don't want to start any major new projects. You don't want to make any important new decisions. But it's also in the dark phase of the moon anyhow. So a lot of people might be feeling really frustrated and stuck. But there's good news coming around the corner. This energy is best for meditation, for introspection, for reflection. On Tuesday, March the 1st, the moon is void, of course, staying the course. Just keep doing what you've been doing until 12:54 p.m. Pacific time. The moon goes into Pisces. Pisces is all that more sensitive, heartfelt energy, where Aquarius is more intellectual, more mental energy. Later, but also when the moon goes into Pisces and for the rest of the day, the sun will be in harmony with Uranus. So the sun, Uranus, you're starting to get excited about the possibilities. You're more open to new ideas, original ideas, favorable for technology, favorable for computers. Then on Wednesday, the 2nd, the new moon will begin exact, and it's drawing our attention to where Pisces impacts your horoscope for the next 4 weeks. This new moon is going to be quite favorable. The last new moon, the moon was in a challenging aspect to unpredictable, rebellious Uranus. But this new moon, it's going to be aligned with Jupiter because Jupiter is now in Pisces. The new moon's in Pisces. That Jupiter influence brings growth, brings opportunity, brings optimism. On a more mundane level, very favorable for traveling, for education, for publishing, for going back to school or starting to teach. Plus, the new moon will also be in a favorable aspect to Uranus because yet that Tuesday, as I explained, come the afternoon, the sun's in harmony with Uranus. So that new moon is still close enough to grabbing that progressive Uranus energies. Also, with that new moon, the Mercury, decision-making Mercury, will align with Saturn. Now, sometimes Mercury-Saturn can be limited thinking, negative thinking, worrisome thinking, but because the new moon is triggering optimistic Jupiter, which is a much stronger influence than the positive of Mercury-Saturn. Mercury is decision-making, and Saturn, this could be very favorable for concentration, for being really focused, good for business negotiations, because that Mercury-Saturn helps us be much more logical, practical. Now, and that's all of that is setting the tone for these next several weeks. Because even though we move off from Wednesday with that Mercury-Saturn will move apart, the Mercury-Saturn will also be part of the new moon horoscope. So very favorable for business overall, for growth and opportunities. On Thursday, March the 3rd, Venus and Mars are going to be very close to aligning. They align once a year. They're going to align Saturday evening Pacific time. But let's stay with Thursday the 3rd. The Venus and Mars are still in Capricorn because Saturday night they go into Aquarius. But in Capricorn, the Venus and the Mars, which is all this passionate energy, highly creative energy, they're both going to be aligning with powerful transformational Pluto. That Venus, Mars, Pluto can trigger some very strong desires, can trigger some powerful romantic attraction. Now, the moon that had been in Pisces is going to go into more fiery external Aries at 4:54 p.m. Pacific time. And so then later in that day, with the Venus, Mars to Pluto, a lot of passionate negotiations, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your business life. Friday, the moon continues in fiery, ambitious, assertive Mars. The moon isn't aspected good or bad with any other planets. There's no other major planetary events. So it's full force. The field is clear and you're feeling it's very good for exercising. It's very good for starting to really act on all of these opportunities that are coming your way. Because on Saturday, the sun is going to align with Jupiter. And that's a day, that's the sun, all things Jupiter, traveling, luck, optimism, publishing. It's a very expansive day of the year. And later, by around 10:30 p.m. Pacific time, pleasure-seeking creative Venus aligns with assertive, aggressive Mars. This can be very passionate, romantic energies, highly creative energies, overall just passion in general. And at that same time that Venus and Mars are aligning once a year, they're both going into the sign of Aquarius. Next year, when they align Mars will only be in Aquarius once every 2 years. Aquarius is very friendly and sociable and outgoing. So this is starting into that March the 5th, later that evening for most of the world, March the 6th, over those next month, much more socializing, much more friendliness. And it's a lot of this hanging out with friends and getting really passionate and excited. Would be great for parties, for going on some group activities with sports, with a collection of friends. And then on Sunday, the moon will have entered into Taurus. When it was in Aries, it's all fiery and ambitious. When it goes into Taurus, it's time to calm down, get more focused to start accomplishing the goals. Earlier, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday could have been a time of a lot of excitement, a lot of opportunities, and we're all revved up and getting restless and wanting to go for it. But then on Sunday and going into Monday with the moon in Taurus, it's like, okay, let's make a plan. Let's settle down and let's slow and steady achieve our goals. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a 1-question offer for a nominal fee. To order it, just go to the home page of astrologyanswers.com, look for the tab labeled Advisors, click on it, scroll down till you find my name, and follow the instructions. I want to thank you for watching. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.